Recently, Warner Brothers released a public statement standing in solidarity with J.K. Rowling. I never thought that they were even going to publicly speak on this controversy because they're working in the early development of HBO Max's Harry Potter series right now, and they want the focus to be on the show and not on J.K. Rowling and what she tweeted this week and who she's pissing off this week. But I think they felt it got to a boiling point where they could no longer ignore it, and their PR team put this together. So here is the full statement that Warner Brothers released, defending her. The events in the last several weeks have firmed our resolve as a company to confront difficult societal issues. Warner Bros.' position on inclusiveness is well established, and fostering a diverse and inclusive culture has never been more important to our company and to our audiences around the world. We deeply value the work of our storytellers who give so much of themselves in sharing their creations with us all. We recognize our responsibility to foster empathy and advocate understanding of all communities and all people, particularly those we work with and those we reach through our content. So this statement is not naming J.K. Rowling out loud, but basically what they're saying is J.K. Rowling has a right to express her personal views, and we remain focused on the development of the Harry Potter series, which will only benefit from her involvement. They are keeping her heavily involved in production. They are not.
Oh, they're not keeping her heavily involved in production. They don't have a choice.
She's keeping them in business, essentially. Yes. And J.K. Rowling doesn't care whether you burn her books because you bought one in the first place. That is her only philosophy in life.
We were watching, again, guys, I keep singing the praises of this show called Wild Cards that I'm watching right now. It's really, really great. And we were watching this episode yesterday where there's this they're on the set of a vampire TV show, and there's been a murder, and they're interrogating a makeup artist who's got a full sleeve, and it's completely blacked out. And I'm like, I wonder if those were Harry Potter tattoos.
Might have been.
Might have been.
Biggest regret.
Yeah.
Do you feel surprised that Warner Brothers would address this?
I don't. I mean, yes, a little bit. I don't think they needed to. I mean, I think what she's proven time and time again is that her product is pretty much bulletproof. No matter what she tweets, people still love Harry Potter. The discussion about her beliefs about transgenderism is an online discussion that doesn't permeate into normie culture far enough for it to put any type of dent into her work.
Yeah.
If you look up Harry Potter online, the first 3 pages of results tend to be nothing but stuff about Harry Potter projects, Harry Potter fan clubs, things like that. When you look up J.K. Rowling online, you get very, very different results. And that's probably how she likes it. I don't think they needed to address it at all. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of glad that they did. I would hope that they give all their creators that same latitude, but you have to hold those creators accountable for the success of their work, right? So if they're going to be coming out here, if somebody else is going to be making something annoying and complaining about something that we might find annoying, that we think that they shouldn't be complaining about, we don't get to then turn it around and being like, oh, they should just shut up and do their work. They should support that creator. And then when the creator's work doesn't do well, don't hire them again.
Yeah. There's no need for them to cut ties, or there's no need for them to disavow.
And use that refusal to hire them again as growing evidence that this is a platform based on merit, that you're going to be allowed your controversial opinions if you can prove to us repeatedly that you can deliver on your promise. The problem is she is a proven commodity, whereas everybody else wants the check up front and isn't thinking about how their thoughts, their out loud musings will affect their ability to sell projects. So one thing that I found very interesting was when I was reading about this, it was in relation to Warner Brothers and David Zaslav and what they were talking about. And I'm not even kidding you. They were saying that David Zaslav and Jeff Bezos being conciliatory to Donald Trump in the wake of the election, they said that this was because, and I'm not even kidding you, fear of reprisal. So it's not that we're finding our way back to the middle. where the same thing was, it was in conversation about Sebastian Stan. Okay. So they're talking about.
Oh, they're all saying like, this is how we end up in an authoritarian dictatorship.
Instead of understanding that the reason that actors didn't want to go on Actors with Sebastian Stan was about not wanting to annoy 50% of the population who might be looking to buy your work, they took from this that these actors, these nobodies in the grand scheme of things, were terrified that Donald Trump was going to, rain down some form of terror on them once he became president. It's divorced from reality. It's absolutely insane. Anybody with a third grade education understands that you try not to upset half of your audience unless you're so good. You are so good that people are going to go out and buy it anyways. J.K. Rowling can piss off anybody she wants. People are going to keep buying Harry Potter stuff. You, B-list actor number 4, are not her. You wish you were. You won't say it out loud, but you're not. And that is the cold, hard reality of a business where merit actually matters. And so perhaps these studios should be walking their way back to that, where they're like, look, here's a cheat code. We can hire, as long as we hire people that actually do good work, it doesn't matter if they say stupid stuff.
You know what? I hope that she doesn't just stay involved in the casting and the script writing and the editing. I hope that J.K. Rowling goes so far as to demand multiple cameos in the Harry Potter series. And literally just to rub salt in the wound for these people who are obsessed with hating her. Yeah. I think that would really just show them no one listens to you. You're a ranting, raving schizoid in the corner that we have been ignoring and politely not making eye contact with you. Has that sunken in yet? Yeah. You're literally, I'm politely ignoring you and politely avoiding making eye contact with you because you are acting like Jordan Neely on public transit. Yeah. I think they need to understand how unimportant they are, and the fact that people just don't listen to I'm sorry to say the word again, it's so trite, but they don't really care about woke anymore. It is dead. Yeah. Anyway, we have a 20 here from Cesario JPN. I forget if it was in a Defunct Land or Yesterworld YouTube video where I heard this info, but J.K. Rowling went to Warner Brothers because Disney didn't offer her creative control over the Harry Potter IP. Don't know if her haters know this fact. Yeah,
it's well known that creative control mattered greatly to her. It's one of the other reasons why it's a problem that only gets worse now, because this is back in the late 90s when this was going on. Yeah. And these studios had a lot less power than they do now. They have consolidated into the Borg on many, many levels. They've gobbled up every form of IP you can think of, and they're just gonna not give you that offer. They're gonna be like, oh no, we can pick a bunch of YA slop from 10,000 different writers and get control over it because they're gonna be happy to have a first look deal with us. So you're not going to have an example like this again. You're just not. And look, the funny thing is it's such a weird hill to die on because J.K. Rowling agrees with them on 99.9999999% of issues. Yeah. But to each their own. The last trilogy of Harry Potter movies didn't do the numbers that it needed to either.
The Fantastic Beasts.
The Fantastic Beasts ones didn't do the numbers that they needed to. Not in my opinion. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
She is proof, time and again, that I have no problem with you having your insane opinions. Just keep making stuff that's good and people will give you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I feel like we wouldn't be...
People tend to have selective memory when the work is good. Because you know what it is? Because you get put into a good headspace by good work and it leaves a good impression on you. So then you're like, oh yeah, that actor did say that stupid, insane thing that one time. But you're like, you know what?
Or if I'm listening to a song by someone who is definitely a terrible person.
You're like,
I'm like, okay, well, the song's good. What am I supposed to do about it?
I would like to think that for all the content online of people saying that they will no longer give them their money, there are a lot of people like that. And I understand why. Look, you have every right to spend your money the way you want to. Not wanting to give money to people who are openly antagonistic to you is absolutely 110% your prerogative and makes total sense. I don't take that perspective because I just look at it as a form of capitalism. It's just a transactional relationship. I don't really care what they said as long as the art that they are selling is enjoyable to me. And maybe it's also I just have a bad memory, so I forget the bad stuff. I'm like, oh, look, the slop. I love the slop.
Well, they're obviously free to not spend money on something or someone that they're opposed to. And nobody is really telling them, like, no, you have to stream this show or you have to buy this butterbeer. Like, nobody is harassing them about that. But it's really that they presume to have so much more power in the culture than they really have with these stupid tweets. Like, I would be remiss not to mention some of these responses to the Warner Brothers statement. They're absolutely insane. Sam Stryker said, announcing you're standing behind J.K. Rowling on Transgender Day of Remembrance is certainly a choice. Like, the tone is unmistakable. They all think they all have the same tone.
Like, all that makes me want to do is just whatever the opposite of what you tell me is.
Yeah. Another one said, there's been a noticeable anti-trans shift in companies in the past 2 weeks, and it's honestly terrifying.
No. It's a I want to make money shift.
But when they said 2 weeks, they're trying to say it's because of Trump's election that huge companies are deciding to be anti-trans now.
Like they actually, like I said, and those people actually believe it's because they think that David Zaslav is terrified that Donald Trump is going to come down and do something. No, what they want is to be able to form more mergers, acquire more companies with less government involvement, and on top of that, make products that people like. Look, I was listening to this video from Clownfish today talking about the fact that they swapped out She-Hulk in the Marvel banner for Deadpool because people like Deadpool, and the only She-Hulk people like is the 80s comic book run. Fair game, right? Makes perfect sense. In reality, they've switched out a lot of those characters on a regular basis, but everybody was like, oh, get that woke garbage out of here. Woke in capital letters. Again, I hate that word. I think it's stupid.
It's overused.
But the point is like these studios, like they have spent so much money acquiring all these properties that if all they did was just make stuff that people wanted, they would have a license to just print endless money all the time. But they can't. They don't know how to do that because the people they hire don't want to do that. You're not going to get Sean Levy every time. You're not going to get Ryan Reynolds every time. Sometimes you're going to get She-Hulk.
Usually they'll realize...
And that's going to cost you $225 million and make you exactly $0.
Sean Levy is going to realize he doesn't need Disney to make a good movie, so then they went and...
Well, Sean Levy works with...
started working on their own.
If I remember, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, he made that movie with Ryan Reynolds on Netflix that I really liked. And I
They're
forgot.
friends.
They've worked several times, and they're going to be working again with Hugh Jackman. Again, those big actors who have been proven commodities, they can go wherever they want.
Yeah.
Right? Oddly enough, it's the annoying actors that don't have that ability that are the loudest and most vocal. You'd think somebody would pass them a note.
Speaking of annoying actors, this tweet says, this feels like a huge FU to two main trans and non-binary stars. The statement of intent is clear. They're saying this to HBO, expecting HBO to respond. And then there's a photo of Emma Corrin, who is in House of the Dragon, that streams on HBO.
And in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. And also Hunter Schafer, who is in Euphoria. And then they mentioned Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us 2. They are so sick for this. As if these trans-identifying and non-binary identifying actors are all about to, like, go on strike because Warner Brothers is making a Harry Potter show.
Hunter Schafer is going to get work no matter what.
At this rate?
Yeah.
Seems like it, sure.
Same with Bella Ramsey for the time being.
Bella Ramsey, I don't know. She was not good.
I mean, I think the launching point of that will be enough to sustain her for a period of time. Who's the other one?
Emma Corrin.
She's a gifted actress. So
I haven't watched her in anything.
She's
so I
good.
don't know.
So there's no problem with that. So
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.